Hello students. So students, in the previous class in the chapter that is life processes, we were talking about that what are the different steps which we had included in that of the nutrition. You see, the different steps which is present or which is included in that of the nutrition is, the first one is the ingestion. If we talk about the ingestion process, in this process, the food is intake. It means the food is first of all taken by that of the organism. So, the method by which the organism used to take the food inside their mouth, that is known as the ingestion. Now, it varies from the organism to organism. If we talk about the human being used to take it with the mouth. Then, if we talk about the digestion, students, so in case of a digestion, you see, this large, complex and insoluble food particle that we use to take it, because you know that we cannot take the food as it is. So, it is necessary for us in order to break it into from the complex one, from the insoluble food one to that of the soluble food material. Okay, so we will convert it into the soluble form. And this process of conversion or the breakdown of the complex molecule into the water soluble molecule, that is called as the digestion process. And here, in the case of a digestion, there are two methods. One is the physical method, another one is the chemical method. If we talk about that of the physical method, this is the method in which the food is chewed, food is grind with the help of our teeth. So grinding and chewing of the food that happens, that is the physical method of digestion. If we talk about the chemical method, so here the juices, the digestive juices which work on the food in order to make it a water soluble, in order to make it a soluble food, simpler food, that is called as a chemical method of digestion. So the two methods are, one is the physical method and another one is the chemical method of digestion, students. Then the third one is the absorption. What happens in case of absorption? Now the food is soluble, it is a simpler one, so it will reaches to the intestinal wall. And from that of the intestinal wall, it will reaches to the bloodstream. Okay, so from the intestinal wall, when the soluble, simpler food reaches to that of the bloodstream, we call it as absorption. Now, when this food which has already entered into the bloodstream reaches to each and every part of the cell of the body, that we will call it as assimilation. So basically what happened in case of assimilation, the food reaches to each and every part of the cell, and the reason is that here only inside the cell the oxidation process takes place. Okay, so when the oxidation process takes place, ultimately what happens due to this, when the oxidation process takes place, due to this the body gets the energy. So we can say that here the oxidation process happens as the food molecule reaches to each and every part of the cell. Then the next one is, student, that is ingestion. So there are some of the unwanted or undigested food particles are there, and this unwanted and undigested food particle thrown out from the body because we do not need it, and this process is called as egestion. Okay, so these are some of the steps which is included in that of the holozoic nutrition. Okay. So this is about that of the holozoic nutrition. Now moving on, and we will use the same method of nutrition in case of amoeba. nutrition in amoeba. So if we talk about the first one, so before that we go further, let me tell you a few things about amoeba, student. So first of all, amoeba has no mouth. The first point is amoeba has no mouth. Okay, it is having no mouth. Then the second thing that it is a tiny microscopic plant and animal. It is amoeba eats tiny plants and animals as food. It eats tiny plants and animals as food. Okay. Then the mode of nutrition. So the mode of nutrition in case of amoeba, is the mode of nutrition in amoeba is holozoic nutrition. That is called as holozoic mode of nutrition. Now here one more thing is there, student, that is the process of obtaining food by the amoeba. So the process by which the amoeba used to obtain the food, that we called as phagocytosis. So you can write it that the process of obtaining food from the process of obtaining food from the process obtaining food of the amoeba, obtaining food of the amoeba or by amoeba, that is called phagocytosis. That is called as phagocytosis. So here phagocytosis means cell feeding. That is called as cell feeding. So this is the few things that we should keep in mind before we start the nutrition in amoeba. First thing, it is having no mouth. As we can see, we are having mouth, so we used to ingest the food as very easily with the help of the mouth. But in case of the amoeba, there is no such mouth is present. Then the food, if we talk the kind of a food it used to take a very tiny microscopic plants or the animal as a food. Then you see that it used to eat the tiny microscopic plant and animal for their nutrition. Then the kind of a nutrition which is shown by that of the amoeba is the holozoic mode of nutrition. So it used to show the holozoic mode of nutrition. Then student, the process by which it used to obtain the food, the amoeba obtain the food, that process is called as phagocytosis. It means the self-feeding process, or it means the self-feeding. So this is the things that is there in case of amoeba, nutrition in amoeba. Now moving on, and we will see that what are the different steps which is included in case of the nutrition in amoeba. Okay, so the first one in case of the nutrition in amoeba is the first one is ingestion. In case of ingestion, if we talk about the ingestion method, student, here the amoeba does not consisting of a specialized mouth. We already had discussed about it that it does not have a mouth. So they use their body part, and that is its false feet, which we call as pseudopodia. So it is the pseudopodia which help in ingesting, which help in engulfing the food particle inside its mouth. So we can write it that amoeba use pseudopodia to ingest food. So in order to ingest food, it used pseudopodia. So basically what happened, when the food comes near to that of the amoeba, the pseudopodia used to make a shape in such a way that it will be easy for it to engulf the food particle. So we can write it in this point, that is when food particle came near to the amoeba, then amoeba ingest food by making finger-like projection. Okay, by forming temporary finger-like projection. Okay, by forming temporary finger-like projection. It will form a temporary finger-like projection, and that will help in engulfing the food particles, in it. So this will help in engulfing the food particles in it. Okay, so this is the things that happen in case of the ingestion. Now let me draw the diagram in order to explain the ingestion in a much better way. So if we draw the diagram of the ingestion by students, then we will find here that is so if suppose this is the amoeba. So basically what happened here, student, here when the food particle reaches to that of the amoeba, so this is the food one, and here there is a nucleus. There is a kind of a vacuole is present, and then cytoplasm which is present around it. Cytoplasm which is present around it. Okay, so this is what, student, this is the nucleus. This is the food particle, I already had told about it. And this one is the pseudopodia. So you can see that as the food particle comes or reaches to that of the amoeba, then it used to make its shape in such a way that it will engulf that food particle, and that is known as the pseudopodia, which help in engulfing the food particle inside it. Okay, so this is the first one, that is ingestion. Moving on, and we will see that what happened in case of the digestion, students. So the second method is the digestion. So you see what happened in case of a digestion. Now when this food particles enter to that of the amoeba, then there is a formation of a surrounded wall that is a vacuole which consisting of this food. So we can say that there is a formation of a vacuum around it which will help in in providing that of the digestive juices. So it basically there to protect that of the food particle. So the food is present in the food vacuole, and now it is present inside to the amoeba body. So all the digestive juices start entering into that of the food vacuole in order to break it into the soluble form. So we can write here in digestion, that is there is a formation of the food vacuole around the food vacuole around the food. Okay, now this food is digested by the digestive enzymes. Now the enzymes from the surrounding cytoplasm, from the surrounding cytoplasm enter into the food vacuole, and break it into simpler one. Break it into the simpler one. Okay, so making the food soluble form. Making the food into the soluble form. Now we have seen that when it is in the food vacuole, the digestive enzymes start entering into it and converting it into the soluble form of the food particle. Now let me draw the diagram of that also, so that we can understand that what basically happened in case of the digestion process. So we can draw the diagram of it. So here what happened? Here what happens, students? There is a food vacuole which is formed, and this is the food. Okay, a nucleus is there again, and vacuole is there, and then cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is there. Now all the digestive juices are entering into it in order to break it into the soluble form. So this happens in case of the digestion. This is what? This is the food vacuole, students. Okay, food vacuole. And this arrow is what? These are the enzymes entering into the vacuole. Enzymes entering into that of the vacuoles. Now moving on, and we will see the next step, and next step is the absorption one. Is the absorption. Absorption. So you see, in case of absorption, now the digestive food which is present inside that of the amoeba, it will go to each and every part. Since there is no specialized intestine is there, so it will reaches instantly to each and every part of the body. So we can write it that the digested food, present, the digested food which is present in the food vacuole, present in the food vacuole in amoeba is directly absorbed into the cytoplasm of amoeba cell by diffusion. Amoeba cell by diffusion. Now, since it is a one cell, it is a unicellular, so there is no need of any kind of a transportation system. Since it is one cell, so it do not need transport system. It do not need transport system. Okay, any kind of a, it do not carry the blood, so it do not need that of a blood system. So it will directly get absorbed to each and every part of the cell here, students. Okay, so after absorption, food vacuole disappear. Food vacuole disappear. After absorption, the food vacuole, it gets disappear. Okay, so this is about that of the absorption. Now let us see that what basically happened in case of the absorption, students. So we can write it, that is in case of absorption. So here, if this is that of the amoeba, and in the amoeba there is a nucleus there is a nucleus. Then a vacuole is there, which consisting of a soluble form of food, and this will comes outside. Here again cytoplasm is there, students. Okay, already cytoplasm is there. So we can write it: digested food diffuses out. Diffuse out. Digested food diffused out. Okay. So this is about that of the amoeba, of the absorption. Now we will see the last two steps. So the next step is assimilation. Okay. That is assimilation. Assimilation, students. So in case of assimilation, apart from that of the absorption, it needs energy, and that energy it will get through the process of respiration. So we can say that amoeba cell used to obtain the energy. Cell used to obtain energy through respiration. Energy through respiration. Through respiration. Through the process of respiration. And the remaining part, is used to make the parts of amoeba cell, which leads to growth of amoeba. So basically the next one is the assimilation, where the respiration process occur, and the remaining part of the amoeba, it will be leads to growth of that of the amoeba body. Okay, so this is the next point, student. Now let me draw the diagram that what happened in case of the assimilation. I'm writing and then drawing the diagram here, student. In your book, it is written in all the points together, means the diagram is there all together. I'm doing it step by step so that it will make the things clear for you that what happened in that one and how we can see it with the help, or how we can understand it with the help of the diagram. So here in case of assimilation, if this is the amoeba, size of amoeba grows. Size of amoeba grows, and this is that of the assimilation. So here what happened, since the food reaches to each and every part of the cell, so that will help in increasing the size of the amoeba. Moving on, and we will see the last step of the amoeba, and that is egestion one. Egestion. So in case of egestion, let me draw the diagram of the egestion one. So here I am drawing the diagram, students. So basically what you will find, that if this is that of the amoeba, so here one of the portion is there through which the thing is coming out. Again, a nucleus is there and a vacuole is there and all the cytoplasm is present there, and you can see here that this is what the unwanted. Let me draw the diagram here itself, students. So if this is that portion through which this is the unwanted food. The unwanted food which is coming out, or the not digested food is coming out. So basically what happened in case of digestion, one of the part of the wall it get ruptured and the undigested or unwanted food it will be thrown out through that of the amoeba. So this is the 5 steps which is included in that of the nutrition in amoeba, students.